Yep. Welcome to another live streamed episode of A Different Day with Ja and
It's Neci. Good afternoon. I hope you guys didn't miss me too much.
and she could hear me. Yeah, she was sick, so you know I owe her a cuss out for calling out. You don't know.
I need some sick days, okay? It's 2026. Sick days should be a given, okay? I've only used one for the year, and it's June.
You're right. The rest was PTO. You're right. You're right.
Thank you.
We got a great show for you today. It's still election season. Can't wait for it to be over. And things in the USVI couldn't be more messy. We're going to get into that in a little bit, along with the MS of the week. I bet y'all won't be able to guess who the MS of the week, the scunt of the week is today, but I'm sure you'll like it. We got some trending topics and more. First, Neci, how was your week?
My week was eventful. Called out sick last week. Monday did the recovery. Try to get back in the groove on Tuesday. You gotta catch up for when you gotta catch up. You can't even call out sick anymore. You gotta catch up for the time you miss. It'll be like a lot. But the week is over. Today's a new week. What's last week is done. It can't be undone. We can only push forward. How was your week?
My week. When I tell y'all, I've been super busy, and only getting busier. We got today's episode. I'm gonna be on Unhinged Tuesday, and then Wednesday we got a mental health specialist coming in. So I hope you're available for that. Wednesday at 7. We're gonna talk men's mental health. Topic that does not get enough traction and enough support. We're gonna be talking about that. What you saying, Darren? What you saying? So tune in. And I do work a full-time job. People don't believe that I work.
That we don't work.
We do work full-time jobs. Honestly, the scunt of the week is VI people. We allowing our entertainment tomfoolery. I guess you're kind of right. You're getting warm. John, guess who the scunt of the week is?
The fact that I know there's a few options is what bothers me already.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying this election season has been wild. But welcome. We're going to get into it. I think I'm going to surprise y'all, but we're going to get into it. But first, you know how we like to start it off. We like to start everything off on a positive note, and we're going to keep it that way. Neci, please, if you could go ahead and introduce these winners of the Posh Icon Awards.
They did not win. It hasn't happened.
Oh, my bad. The nominees. Tell her it's been a long week.
Okay, so first up we have no other than Miss Lima Rowe herself. You know we're streaming. It's Sunday, so we're syndicated on 101.3 FM. If you're not tuned in, you're missing out to the great program. And is of course the Boss Lady. And she has been nominated, or she will be accepting the Caribbean Posh Icon Award for her visionary media leadership. So big up to the Boss Lady for such an acknowledgement. People are seeing, they're watching, they're paying attention, and recognition is a must.
Yeah. Big up Boss Lady. And we got some more nominees, not winners yet. They are winners in our world, but not necessarily in the Posh Icon. We want to big her up as well.
Yes, so we have Jennifer Madarangas King, who is a nominee for the Posh Icon Women's Award. So congratulations to her. She's currently the commissioner of the Virgin Islands Department of Tourism. So congratulations to her for her recognition.
Didn't she used to have another position just recently?
She recently, I think like late last year, she became the commissioner. I could not tell you prior to that what she was doing because, the perimenopause and the brain fog has my mind everywhere. So I don't remember. But she has always been an instrumental woman in the community. So I'm glad she's being recognized for her service as well.
All right. We got
Another nominee we have would be Alicia Barnes. She is nominated for her Entrepreneurship Excellence Icon Award for her Rittenhouse Consulting LLC. If you might know, she's also a former Senator, Alicia Barnes, if I'm not mistaken. So congratulations to her on her nomination as well.
Congratulations. We got one more that we want to big up. And keep in mind, this is from the 25th to the 30th of June in the BVI. I don't know if I could get over there, but I mean, it's going down and the women are killing it.
Yes. And the last one that we found, not that we did, there may be other VI nominees, and if they are, please send it to us. We will definitely shout them out between now and awards day. But the last one that we did see was Jam, or I did not even know her real name until I saw this poster, by the way. But Jem Don Moore, she is being nominated as well for the Entrepreneur Excellence Award against Alicia Barnes. So two VI people in the same category nominee. I love to see that. So we have twice the odds of winning. And if you don't know, she do lax. She's a lactician. And she doesn't me want to really pull lax in my hearing. It's the maintenance and the heavy. I can't. But nevertheless, she does an amazing job. I've seen her videos. I follow her support. Don't have no lax, but I always love to see her content. So congratulations to her too as well on her nomination.
Now, we want to big up everyone. All of the nominees, congratulations, no matter where you're from. We want to big up everyone. But of course, it's VI in this mother. You know what I'm saying? We got to big up our people. I'm sorry. Now, Jennifer Matarangas King, I don't know what type of accent I got used for that one there. She was the director of government and community relations at VIA. Yeah. Big up VIA. Formerly VIA is One Communications now, correct? I'm not mistaken. Yes. And so Keita says she bad with it. Look at, she's a walking portrait for locks though. Look at that thing. Beautiful. Her crown she wearing it well. Congratulations. We got some more good news. Like I said, the women are killing it.
Since Amos doing here, so.
Oh, so little call for she to come over. Oh man, that's great. The women are killing it. Like I told you, 42 years of running. We have the 42nd annual women's race presented by the Women's Coalition of St. Croix. You can run, walk, or jog in support of peace and justice while honoring survivors of violence and remembering those lost to abuse. That is happening today, 4:45 at Woodhull Park, St. Croix. It's happening today, all right? Go ahead and show your support for the Women's Coalition for Women and Honoring Survivors of Violence, all right? And that is something we want to support and get out there and help any way we can, all right? Go ahead and get some fitness in. It can't hurt people.
It don't. And health is wealth, and we need to,
Yeah.
When this over fatty thing is dangerous.
Exactly. we're getting older. We only go one way. Age only goes one way. All right. Speaking of health being wealth and wellness, we also have the Health and Wellness Fair. One moment. We got a Health and Wellness Fair coming up as well. All right. The USVI Health and Wellness Fair, St. Croix Central High School, it actually starts tomorrow, June 8th to Friday, June 12th, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. The 2026 USVI Health and Wellness Fair is heading to St. Croix beginning Monday, June 8th. Residents can access a wide range of free healthcare services at Central High School from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. through Friday, June 12th. Services include children's exams and sports physicals, vaccinations, women's health services, men's health exams, blood pressure and glucose screenings, mental wellness services, and more. All those things are serious in our community and we need to be mindful of them. Whether you're preparing your child for school or sports, scheduling a wellness screening, or simply taking a proactive step toward better health, we're here for you. Central High School, starting tomorrow, June 8th to the 12th, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. All services are what? Free. They are free. So go ahead and get your screenings. If you ain't been to the doc for a while, you ain't been checking on your numbers, go ahead and make your way down to Central High School. We look forward to serving the people of St. Croix and helping build a healthier Virgin Islands, one family at a time. That is the Virgin Islands Department of Health. All right. You going on that? You know your numbers?
I don't care about that.
I know you love a doctor's visit. So why did I even ask that?
They know. But you know what? The one thing they told me, they said more people were just like you. Not, like if they, because nobody likes to go to the doctor. It's not the place you wake up like, man, let me just go to the doctor today. Nobody just wants to go. There's something wrong. We're not knowledgeable people. I don't know. I am medically trained. Yes, we have Google and AI, but you know how to WebMD to take you down to death every time.
Yes. You
can't just WebMD everything. So going to do your annuals is always super important. Go get your annuals done. Get your full blood work completed every year. Sometimes, depending on your age, you might need more things than a full blood work panel. You might need to do other additional things and other additional screenings. Get them done. Go see your doctors or find a new physician, or if it's on island, off island, wherever you gotta do it, go deal with your health.
Hell yeah. Now, we also have the Relay for Life. We got a Relay for Life going on right now, and I will let VI Consortium go ahead and take it away. It's hosted by, I think his name is Bogle, right? It's hosted by him. It happened Saturday.
So ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready as we kick off the 25th anniversary of Relay for Life St. Croix. Ladies, please put your hands together for the survivors. Men, make some noise for the survivors as we kick it off. We welcome all our visitors who are here for Relay for Life. And we know as long as the Most High says we're gonna be here, He make it possible. Nobody, and I say nobody, can say no.
All right. It's an annual fundraiser. Their goal this year is $300,000 to go towards survivors and possibly creating more. Darren has said, Neci, a hypochondriac. Just kidding, don't come for me. Is that the word? I thought there was another word for it.
Why would I be a hypochondriac? Like, how did we get here?
I don't think that's the right word.
How did we get here?
We know what you mean. But yeah,
What does he mean? No, what does he mean?
Because you love a doctor's visit, so you're one of those people that always think something wrong.
No, I'm not one of those people that always think something's wrong. I go if I feel like something is wrong.
Okay.
And I go to check. A lot of people check too late, and I'm not a check too late person.
True.
We've lost a lot of people in our age group that check too late, and I just feel like for those of you who do have health insurance that you're paying for, use it. Go get yourselves checked up. I know that my statement was blanket, but not everyone has the means to just go and get checked. But for those of you who do have health insurance and can do it, most annual exams are usually free for a copay to just encourage you to come do it. When you find out something wrong, the cost is astronomical. That's a different story. Let's not find out something is wrong. Let's try to get things in the butt, before things get too far. Get the testing done, clean up our eating, get the exercise started. If we're not doing it, maybe it's just a medical thing. You could be doing all the right things, and something could still be going wrong. Go do your checkups if you can. I encourage you. It's for your health. Health is wealth. And it's June, and it's Men's Health Month as well. So I'm encouraging the men specifically to go do your physicals as well as your mentals. We need you. We appreciate you. We value you.
Yeah, for sure. We need to do it throughout. Yeah, it's nail it in the bud, but we know what you meant.
You know how people attack things. You have to be.
Yeah, too often we as men, we avoid going to the doctor, and it's very important that we do it, because I guess like sometimes you feel like I didn't know I had an issue until I went and got checked up. Well, that's kind of the point. You don't want to wait until the symptoms arrive. Trust me. All right.
And then going gives you a pattern of behavior, right? Like if you went last year and you went the year before, and then something pop up this year, then you know, like, oh, it's new because we have a history of you coming. Nothing's going wrong. When you come in and you have no history, there's a whole slew of other things they have to determine to see how long you had it, the progression of it. Those are the things that makes it important. I know you don't want to have to pull on your pants and have to ting this side and cough but let me tell you something wrong. You never tell me you have to cough. You want cough once every couple of years. You want cough every month. How often you want cough? How often you want to see the finger? Go do your checkups, please. We appreciate you.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. That it's coming up on that time for the prostate exam, and it's very humbling. Very humbling. I ain't gonna lie. So I did check my PSAs, and I'm good. But so I don't have to go get a finger. I'm just like,
you're still young. You're not there yet for that. You're still young.
Yeah.
But I know somebody who told me that. That's why he said that. I know a guy. Don't do checkups, didn't whatever. Mm-hmm. And when he went, something was very wrong. And the amount of times he had to go to the doctor for them to figure it out after treatment and care. He was like, if he had just did the one checkup that he was scared of all this time, he could have prevented all of these other continual appointments for the year. He said, you know what time he had to see his private area in a year because he never didn't want to go do the one exam just to check and verify. And those are usually once every couple of years. So he's like, that's why he said it like that. Like, you don't want to have to see the finger all the time. Like, go get yourself check up the once. It's uncomfortable.
I don't like that you're doing the whole two in the. I don't like that you're doing the like two in the pink, one in the stink vibe. But I hear you.
Yeah, but you think we want to be cock up like some friggin' chicken all the time, and they have to put a friggin' spatula inside our wee and clamp it open, and then take that hard brush to take the brush and scoop it around to scrapes. Yeah, I think that we like that.
No, of course not. Some do, but no.
If you find a woman who tell me she like to go get her annual done with a little scrape thing that it'll do, that is the most. Listen. You didn't even give us meds for that.
Listen,
dog and just take it.
There are some women that like fisting, so I wouldn't doubt it.
That's a hard brush. A fist and a hard brush is two different things.
True. Yeah, because it made colonoscopy easier for men because they avoid it too much for obvious reasons.
Now there's a blood test. I don't get blood tests now, blood clot.
I mean, what the hell? It's 2026. It needs to be easier. It needs to be easier for you too.
And we still got to cock up our 2 legs and get the hard brush to come in there with it.
I think there's some perverted freak behind it, but I can't prove it. So
scraping the cells them to test it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mercedes made that up. I don't play. I could live with being violated once a year. If it means I'll be able to live longer, that's easy math. Boom. See that?
You have 364 more days to get over it.
I thought the finger test is a thing of the past. I think they found a better test. It may be a thing of the past by the time you get to that age, but it's still there depending on what they find. You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. That's why you go do the checkup so that you could get the early testing, so you don't have to do that. But if you're too late, super swap.
Yeah, you get up pew. That's what.
22 and you.
So anyway, moving on. The next set of good news is, things are kind of rough in the Virgin Islands, especially St. Croix. However, and when it comes to jobs, the economy is kind of hurting, but Indutech VI is trying something, and they had a job fair this week. It looks like it was a big success, and the turnout was great. Check this out.
Good morning. I am Tashorna Thompson, Business Operation Manager here at Indutech VI. Today we're having our commercial and industrial recruitment and hiring event. We receive a grand response from our community and beyond. This signifies that the Virgin Islands is ready to work. We're prepared to put the workforce to work.
You see that? You see the turnout? VI people want to work.
Let me tell you about the turnout, John. They had police there to direct traffic because of the turnout and the line. Sonia's parking lot in front of Kmart was full. So I'm glad to see our people took the job fair seriously.
Correct.
I'm glad to see people did what they asked them to do, which was come dressed to work. And people were there looking professional.
Yes.
In their attires. They came prepared with documentations and resumes, and they sat there and fill out. And I wasn't there, but I saw people telling me that you couldn't pass Sonia. If you wasn't in a job fair, don't pass Sonia. That was the motto Friday. That was a good sign to see. It's a bad sign to see how much people are in employment, but it was great to see how many of them who needed went out to the job fair to acquire. So.
Yeah, we'll count it all a success. How about that? We'll count it a success. I know y'all seen that one dude, like he ready to walk today. He had his overalls and his hard hat on, and
as he should.
He was ready to go.
Where you want me to be? When I get paid this Friday or next Friday? I just need to know where you need me to be.
Yeah, I know y'all seen that. That's what I like to see. I like to see people come and mean it, and I'm sure the employer does too. So keep that in mind. All right. Dwayne says, why Neci stay with them 2 damn fingers? Man, Mama need to put. She had 3. She had 3 and she put on 1. You should be happy.
I give her your grades with 2, 22 in the pew pew. What happened?
You had 3. Oh, what are you talking about?
And I bring it down.
I hope this continues as far as more jobs and more job fairs. Facts. We need it. The economy is hurting, and we need to see people who going to bring that. Because with jobs, when you could take people out of poverty, crime goes down, happiness goes up. You get what I'm saying? People are good when they have food in their belly, money to spend, and things are right. You don't be worrying about robbing a store if your credit score is 850 and you get money in the bank.
Check the Mandami effect.
Hey, but it affects with Hito? It affects with Mandani?
Of course, because why would a socialist actually create change?
But then that puts pressure on them to actually do what they should be doing.
Oh, so it is possible.
Exactly. Just know the refinery is basically going to happen whether we like it or not. Listen, I'm not against the refinery reopening. I'm against it reopening without restrictions and without EPA type of stuff being placed, because it is a health and environmental issue. But other than that, I remember when the refinery was around and a lot of money man, a lot of peshman were created. A lot of young ones from 18, 19, 20. They were getting money and things were good.
What I will say, unfortunately, your hope will probably not happen because, of course, President Orange and his team of Orangeites have decided to cancel environmental monitoring for a lot of different things. The website that usually tracks environmental monitoring for a lot of these refineries and stuff is not even available right now because they're not required to track it. So,
hey,
y'all going to get your money, I get it, but be safe with your health, take your precautions, know what you're ingesting, inhaling, whatever, get your meds up, take care of your bodies, and it makes sense to have money you can't spend.
Listen, I don't have a dog in the fight. I love my island. This is our choice ultimately, but I know that some people are desperate and they want the economy to get better and they want this money. I remember somebody has said live, listen, I got more years behind me than I have ahead of me. I don't care what environmental issues, bring it back. So that's where we are. That's how dire things are right now. So what can I say against it, you know? Random sidebar, Mamdani is the reason I need the Knicks to win. He's showing out, doing better for the city. He deserves this win because he went into office and started doing everything he said he would do.
And all of a sudden, out the blue, because the first half of the year last year, they were playing like trash.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, he's swearing in, and we on a game streak. I on a game streak. But I hold on your breath come Monday, because President Orange will bet the game Monday night. So I don't know what happened. I better just,
Why would he wait till then to get involved? You choice. That don't make no sense.
He's a New Yorker, I guess.
He likes to be in things. That man is from Florida. He ain't even a New Yorker no
Going
more.
to the game Monday, so I better whatever chance are you doing, do it times two. I don't know he gonna be there. I just say.
I'm neutral on the refinery, but I know it's out of our hands. We need to mitigate impacts to environmental and local people are the front of the line for the jobs. Facts. All facts. The problem is that you get people in power that don't feel the same way, which is wild. So let me ask this. Are you for or against the reopening of the refinery? My thing about the refinery too is like it's been down. Most of it has been down for so long. Wouldn't it cost a ton of money to get it back open?
My thing is, what are we opening it to do? To refine?
I don't. Where we getting the oil from? I don't know. I don't know what going on. So we got this poll up to the top right. Are you for or against the reopening of the refinery? How you go ahead and engage with the poll? Just type 1 or 2 in the chat, and it'll automatically tally. So 1, you're for the reopening of the refinery. 2, you're against it. Let us know.
Okay.
Hey, relax on the Knicks signed Spurs fan.
I wanted to be prepared of what's happening come tomorrow night.
Exactly. Hey, relax on the Knicks. Trump is all about attention. He knows nobody coming to the White House after they win. But hey, they got a UFC fight coming up. They got a UFC fight thing. That's why he should be concerned about people pulling out.
Craziest thing I've seen in a long time.
Hey, that man turning the White House into a trailer park. But imagine if Obama had a barbecue on the White House lawn. They'd have been vexed. We're the only refinery that can refine Venezuelan oil because Venezuelan oil is trash. That's why it's sludge. But hey, I wish we could produce LNG instead. That's a big deal for real. We're forcing service members to attend the UFC fight. I did see that. So go ahead and vote in our poll. Are you for or against the reopening of the refinery? In the chat, just type 1 if you're for it, 2 if you're against. Go ahead and engage with us. In the meantime, we're going to move on to the next thing. All right. It's not right. As of 6 a.m. Tuesday morning, the Water and Power Authority reported that electricity in St. Thomas and St. John had been completely restored after a district-wide power outage over the weekend. The outage, which began on Saturday evening, was caused by an ailing generator which destabilized the entire Randolph-Harley power plant on St. Thomas, said WAPA CEO Carl Knight, aka the Dark Knight, I call him. Attempts to restart using the remaining generators at the plant failed, and a subsequent recovery on Sunday using the same troubled Unit 27 generator proved fragile when the engine went down again in the wee hours of Monday morning. During a press conference on Monday, Mr. Knight dispelled rumors that a fuel shortage was behind the outage, saying that mechanical failure was the only reason for the grid collapse. Like that makes it better. With major disruptions in government and private sector operations caused by the outage, residents on the two islands monitored restoration efforts as crews worked to bring feeders online one by one throughout the day. The second order effects of the power crisis also included some residents unable to access water. Lawmakers responded to the latest major outrage with concern. Senator Kenneth Gittens demanded an update on the forensic financial audit of WAPA ordered by the legislature 3 years ago. He wrote to Inspector General Delia Thomas requesting a detailed status report on the audit, an explanation of any factors contributing to delays, an estimate of the remaining work, and an anticipated timeline for completion. Senator Ray Fonseca, meanwhile, disagreed with Mr. Knight's assessment that federal intervention is not necessary at this time. He called on his colleagues in the legislature to pass a resolution petitioning the United States Congress to authorize federal oversight and management of the daily operations of the VI WAPA. Federalizing WAPA, Senator Fonseca wrote, could bring immediate and lasting relief to Virgin Islands residents. While the full economic impact of the outages may never be quantified, Monday's disruptions underscored how deeply WAPA's instability can affect government operations. public health services, waste management, legislative work, and the broader economy. I thought we knew this already, though. All right, let me see what they're saying in the comments about WAPA, besides WAPA Motors. I'm for the opening. I think you muted. Are you muted? I'm for the opening. To be honest, our refinery, in comparison to others, is the youngest. And also, there is a lot of young minds that know how to repurpose a refinery for better. Hey, there you go. I ain't mad at it. We all got our reasons. Trump proved once is white, it's right, and if it's brown, it's wrong. True. All right, can we get some more voting for the chat, please? Are you for or against reopening the refinery? Type 1 in the chat if you're for it. Type 2 if you're against. Still, kids taking process tech and UVI, they honestly need a place to use that degree without needing to leave to go to Texas or Louisiana. That's the thing about it. They know they're going to pay in Texas and Louisiana. You ain't got to deal with all the extras. So we got to do something to keep the people here. That's why we have this brain drain, and it's not helping the situation at all. WAPA mashed up 2 refrigerators of ours. Damn. And refrigerators ain't cheap. I don't say I'm going back to the old top bottom fridge freezer, my son, because them things don't die. They don't die.
I ain't have time for this fancy nothing.
I was in Rock last weekend. It was crazy. I heard you were at an event. I was vexed by it. I'm sure. They mashed up the 2 refrigerators within 7 days. Did I drop them off in front of WAPA? Darren said he was vexed. He had to do an island bath. Did you have to do the bucket bath or what? I'm for the opening of the refinery once our regulatory agencies have their teeth restored. You know, the VI has an issue with enforcement. So,
but regulatory isn't done. The refinery is in the port, which is technically federal ground. So it's the federal authority who does the regulatory. So it wouldn't be VI enforcement.
So they will come down.
That's
from
like
the
EPA and stuff like they do. I mean, DPNR and stuff can do like monitoring and stuff, but the enforcement really comes from EP and stuff. But he just said that some of the things don't need to be reported, so you gotta be careful. We gotta be careful about that too. That's just gonna be crazy. Yeah. White fridge me now too, my son. ASAP.
Listen, they got the black. You got options. You got white. You got black.
I need that. Yeah, the black and I need that white. Yeah, white fridge me. I don't need it to match the rest of the appliances. It could have been green. Me, I really care what color the fridge is, but yeah, tap on back because I don't have the time. And then it's kind of gonna just be me, you know, the kids are big. So I don't need no big freezer and thing, cooking for big, you know.
Yeah.
I need.
Yeah, the top and bottom fridge, they last for 75 years. They're gonna probably outlast you. They come in 2 colors. If you don't care about fridge magnets, you're good. You might as well get a white fridge. Hail up. What going on? Vanessa, thanks for joining. Go ahead and share the live. Tell the people that we're on. Federal agencies, EPA, that's who's gonna be in control. Gotcha. If you just joined us, are you for or against the reopening of the oil refinery in St. Croix? Let us know by typing 1 if you're for it, 2 if you're against. Type that in the chat. Definitely was bucket bath like a hurricane just passed. Hey, I feel for you and I feel for them. That beige was it too. So white, black, and off white. The eggshell jump off. That's what you're talking about. All right. So that's what we're going on with WAPA, which it's crazy that you got that going on, and while the blackout was going on, your governor was at a Mets game chilling with who they call in the half lady, which I think is crazy in itself. But he was at a Mets baseball game cooling for tourism, they said. It was for tourism. So yeah, that's what we're going on, which I think it was wild. But yeah, man. What we got next? So we got some terrible news. Remember we were talking about poverty and it being linked to crime and whatnot?
Yes.
Well, we have some terrible news this morning. VI Consortium reporting 2 people are unalived and 2 others are receiving treatment after an early morning shooting at Luna Bar on St. Croix. The VIPD confirmed Sunday. According to information received by the 911 emergency call center, the shooting was reported at approximately 3:45 a.m. on June 7th. The caller reported that 4 people had been pew-pewed at the establishment. The VI Consortium contacted VIPD, which confirmed the incident. Police said 2 of the victims succumbed to their injuries at the 1F Louis Hospital, condolences, while 2 others were being treated. VIPD said the motive for the fatal shooting had not yet been determined and that the investigation remains ongoing. According to VIPD Director of Communications, Glenn Drake, the department is awaiting notification of next of kin before releasing the identities of the victims. Listen, this stuff gotta stop. This stuff has to stop. We're losing people as in they're leaving. We're losing people that are passing away for natural causes. We're losing people for violence. Something needs to stop. And like I said, poverty is a direct link and it needs to be addressed ASAP, because these kind of things, they're increasing, and it seems like, why VIPD ain't out and about during these wee hours of the morning? In the areas like when the club just laying out and the lounge laying loose, they should be outside. What do you have to say about this, Neci?
My condolences to the families of those impacted, especially the 2 that lost their lives, and to those who are not coping with 2 injured individuals from gunshot. I'm sorry, you said from the pew-pew. We also know from our episode last week about the capabilities that 1F Louis had in terms of gunshot victims as well. Someone who said that they couldn't treat them and things like that. So not correlating any 2 things, is just like these things put a strain on our already frail emergency services that we do have. And I hope they are able to make a speedy recovery. My heart goes out to the families of those involved. It's never good to wake up and hear that someone lost their life, especially to unnecessary violence in a community. And men, we gotta do better with resolving conflict. This can't be the only way we resolve conflict. It just can't. It cannot.
Darren says, and Rock have a different kind of sun too. No power and
They
hot,
do.
sweating hard. I mean, even a big sweater. Listen, I think that's part of the reason why people so angry right now is the heat, and then your unstable power. So you ain't gonna AC, you ain't gonna wait to cool off. I think the summer brings anger. People are outside and they hot and they upset. I think that is a real genuine factor. Me ain't gonna lie to you. I saw that, and I also saw a first girlfriend got me dying. Yeah, half lady. That's what I'm calling her. Not even full first lady, Mr.
No.
They barely got police officers. Now, I did talk to someone that has some rank in VIPD, and the suggestion of having officers, it don't need to be necessarily a whole team of officers, but having maybe 1, 2, or 3 officers on actual patrol during these hours, like in downtown, where you have all these clubs and bars and stuff, having them roaming at like from 1 to 6 or something. When these things happen, these are deterrents. Like, we gotta understand that it's not necessarily using force. Sometimes a show of force or someone being outside is enough. They could literally park up VIPD vehicles outside at spots like this. They ain't even gotta be in the vehicle enough. Those are deterrents. Just the same way like you having lights around your home that shine outside your house, those are deterrents. They make you a hard target instead of being a soft target when in places where there's no police. Patrolling, you're actually supposed to be outside patrolling. That is a show of force. Why is the morale too low? Them paychecks ain't too low though. And not enough recruitment. That area is a whole strip of bars. VIPD need to be patrolling on an hourly basis at least. You see, I won't say hourly. I said the times though. They gotta be keeping the stats of when these things happen, and but hey, I ain't a police. Also, I think it's time for a disclaimer. Disclaimer: the views and opinions on this show do not necessarily reflect the views of the broadcaster, who is 101.3 ROE FM. These opinions are mine and mine alone. If you want to hold anybody responsible, hold me responsible. Even if Neci says something, hold me responsible for it. I'll take that. That's fine. I have a strong, broad shoulders. I'll take it on mine, all right? And to be honest, listen, if you do have an issue with me, please don't go back and forth with me on social media. If you don't want to talk about it, swing at me when you see it. I don't like the back and forth. Just swing. Let's get it over with. Definitely need to be patrolling there constantly. They have been doing that on Rock for years. You see what I'm saying? Parking up cars in hot spots. You see what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say nothing about St. Croix. It's fine. But they should be having some sort of deterrence in place already by now. Look how many burglaries there's been. They had, like 5 spots or more in one day? Not great. What further evidence is needed to show that this area is a hotbed of activity? None. And Crucian said town, the business owners and concerned, residents and stuff have actually formed their own commissions because they want change. They want these burglaries and they want to feel safe, which if you're paying taxes and you live on island, you should want change and to feel safe. That's one of the things the government should be providing for you, some sense of security. All right. Seems like we can't stay away from talking about this man. I can't help it. Don't blame me. Several residents of St. Croix. Several residents of St. Croix have said that they have mistakenly endorsed the nomination of a congressional candidate who they never would have supported had they known the truth. Businessman and community activist Shamari Moorhead took to social media on Monday to report a disturbing encounter at a popular St. Croix restaurant. Today, a guy stopped me at Chicken Shack, which I love, big up Chicken Shack, and asked for my support. He said he was running for Congress and was short a few signatures. I figured, why not? A signature doesn't mean support, unquote, Mr. Moorhead posted. The man reportedly identified himself as David Grillo. However, as Mr. Moorhead later learned, there was no such aspirant. In an interview with the consortium, he said that his initial conversation with the man on the way into the restaurant did not sit well with him, so he questioned Mr. Grillo on the way out. It turned out that on the front page of the signature collection form, the space where the candidate's name is supposed to go was blank. Quote, "You're the one running. You sure you're the one running?" Mr. Moorhead recalled asking. He received an affirmative response. Not satisfied, he called the election system, who reportedly confirmed his suspicions that Mr. Grillo was not in the running. Mr. Moorhead's social media post, as of press time, has garnered several comments, one of them from a woman who described a similar experience at a Sunny Isles fast food restaurant last week. Chanel Quincas said that she also placed her signature on the nomination sheet when solicited, along with several other people at the establishment. Quote, "This is insane. This will definitely discourage me from giving my support so freely in the future," she wrote. On Tuesday morning, the consortium was privy to correspondence from an aspiring candidate himself, alleging that he too had signed a nomination paper under a false impression. Troy Williams, who is mounting an independent run for election to the legislature, sent a request to the election system of the Virgin Islands that his signature on a nomination petition be invalidated because it, quote, "did not reflect his intended support." Speaking to consortium journalists, Mr. Williams said he was at a gas station in early May when he met an acquaintance and former colleague in the political arena. Quote, "I recognized my good friend Javon James. We were formerly Young Democrat members together, and he's a guy that I respect," Mr. Williams said. Assuming that Mr. James, a former senator, I told her this was messy. Assuming that Mr. James, a former senator, was once again seeking political office, he willingly signed the nomination petition his friend was holding. In turn, Mr. James reportedly signed Mr. Williams' petition as well. After the exchange of signatures, Mr. James, quote, kind of jokingly said, "You wouldn't believe who you'd be signing for." Mr. Williams recounted, he then turned over the paper to find that the petition was not for Mr. James, but for someone else entirely. In each of these three instances, the signers say they had inadvertently endorsed the nomination of Brett Matthew McClafferty, the St. Thomas businessman currently seeking election as delegate to Congress, while battling numerous civil lawsuits, preparing for a criminal trial on fraud, and undergoing personal and business bankruptcy proceedings. After being declared ineligible for election to the legislature due to previous convictions outside of the VI, Mr. McClafferty switched his aspirations to the U.S. House of Representatives, which under federal rules does not exclude candidates based on criminal history. Mr. McClafferty himself commented on Mr. Moorhead's post, alleging that the incident may have been, quote, a dirty political trick by one of the other aspirants to the office, quote, because my circulator in St. Croix is a well-known brother of a former senator, and my name is on the cover sheet of every petition. According to Mr. McClafferty, his nomination petition had been signed by over 520 people across both districts. Quote, so we don't need to con anybody for a last-minute signature. Mr. James told the consortium on Wednesday morning that he eventually decided to stop circulating nomination papers for Mr. McClafferty. He said he could not recall when he made that decision, but said his, quote, spirit told him not to continue. The former senator said all of the nomination papers he had circulated were destroyed, forcing Mr. McClafferty to restart the process. Why would he have to restart the process if he already had 520 signatures, though? I digress. Mr. Moorhead, in his consortium interview, rebutted Mr. McClafferty's claims. The man who identified himself as David Grill can be seen in a photo on Mr. McClafferty's own social media profile posted on May 19th, where the aspiring congressional candidate called him, quote, our lead operative in charge of St. Thomas. Mr. Moorhead confirmed that this is the same person he met that day who provided him with a nomination petition to sign that had a blank space where the aspirant's name was supposed to go. Both men say they have reached out to the election system of the VI in an attempt to invalidate their signatures on the nomination paperwork. On Tuesday, consortium journalists spoke to Deputy Supervisor of Elections Terrell Alexander, who said that two people made written requests to have their names taken off the list of signatures. However, USVI had not yet had a chance to, quote, look into those requests. Quote, we just received them today, Mr. Alexander said. As Mr. Alexander pointed out, however, it is the responsibility of individuals to be fully knowledgeable about what they're signing. True. Both Mr. Williams and Mr. Moorhead agreed. However, in a political system which often depends heavily on personal connections and general public goodwill, they argue that deceptive tactics that exploit the interpersonal relationships of a tightly knit community should have no place in Virgin Island society. Both men suggest that there are gaps in the nomination process that may need to be filled. Woo!
Job pause. Take a sip.
Woo!
Take a sip.
That was a lot. Yeah, you're right.
It was a lot for me.
That was 12 pages worth. So, Neci, please, what do you think about this while I rest my face?
I think this is listen, we need to have VI politics melee. You have Crucian melee? We need to have a politics melee because this is too much. One, I do agree with the election office. You need to know what you're signing. With the deadline has already passed. However, individuals, we need to make sure that when you're putting your name, you know what you're signing up for. It's very important. Blank spaces on the line is not, yes, we are a tight-knit community. Yes, the signing of your name doesn't mean that you support the candidate. It's just that they need enough signatures to validate your nomination. But technically, your validation gets them onto the platform. So we still gotta be careful how we are using our name or your name in the community when we're signing these documentation. Two, this game out of hand. Like, we have real serious issues that are plaguing us as Virgin Islanders, that we need real serious candidates who are willing to come in, do grunt work, get the work involved, build community relations, build business relations, build legislative and governmental relations to really push our territory forward. All these little, after you hear, is that every little rumor have a little truth to it? There's too many little things floating around, so something have to be true regarding this one candidate. You can't tell me otherwise. You can't. Everything can be false. Something about everything have to be true. Yeah. And so this is just, for me, if you're a candidate, and as a candidate, if I heard all of this, it doesn't give me much hope, faith, or trust that you're going to be an upstanding citizen representing me and my issues if you're voted in. And fourthly, while we do like a good slander during the, it gives us the political story a little spice and dice, I have my limits to what those things are. Again, too close to vote, to fraud. We wiggling in the waters that we watch this on national news, and now it's kind of seems like it's wiggling into our territory. Me like that for us. I don't. So we need to get this tightened up. The election system, I'm not saying that they're not taking it seriously, but we need to make sure this is all P's and Q's. I could see people gonna say we have voter fraud coming just now, when who ain't win or who they think should win ain't win, it's gonna be some scandal, whatever. We need to tighten it up, be clear with the communication, be direct, concise, drop the facts them, drop the name tag, drop everything. If we need to do that to show that yes, this nomination came in, he said he signed on page 2, number 53. Show we with a signature there, so we can know who he was, he really signed for, he didn't sign for. We have to be clear, concise, give the viewers and our residents and our voters confidence to know that our electoral system is still intact, and they can provide their trust in it once they come cast their votes come August and again in November.
I couldn't have said it any better. No notes. The only thing I could possibly add is that the Ric Flair. Yeah, the only thing that I could possibly add is we need to look into our election system, because you mean to tell me finding out something like this doesn't automatically disqualify a candidate? This ain't illegal? Like, you mean to tell me he could still go on after you hear about this from 3 different sources?
Hearing about it and validating what you hear is 2 different things.
But in the report,
they said that they're investigating, but they have not, because they received it today, per what you read. So I don't know what date that came out, what you just read. So they do have to investigate it. I want to give them grace to investigate it thoroughly, and hope I'll come back with an update to the public about what they discovered in the investigation. That's why I said they have to be very transparent about what happened, and if somebody did sign what page and what number, do your investigation, be thorough, because people that feel because they have attorney in their back pocket, they could just attorney everything. But if you're wrong, you're wrong, and if you disqualify, you're disqualified. And we could stand our ground about it and know that the integrity of our system is intact, and we don't do with this side noise that.
No, I hear you on the investigation, right? However, according to that report, they already discarded the signatures as illegitimate. So how are you going to discard the signatures and not the person who collected these fraudulent signatures? You say you're investigating, but why did you get rid of the signatures if you're done with the investigation? Make it make sense. All right. I heard that Mac received a letter of defunct saying he's short of the required amount of votes due to people who signed were not registered to vote. And also, listen, this is just a rumor. None of it is confirmed, but check the back of your vehicles because there's a rumor that you might get a vote for Mac bumper sticker on your bumper. Multiple people have said that that's a thing too. Well, hey, yeah, that's unconfirmed, but I mean, how could it hurt to check your bumper? All right.
Sure.
But yeah. So on that consortium article post, there were obviously a lot of comments because they always get a lot of comments. But there was one from Lucy Sessa, I think was very insightful, and I gotta read it because she is pointing out something that I think needs to be pointed out, and we're gonna read that now. So shout out Lucy Sessa. Hey, Mac is a piece of work. I swear, this man deserves a case study. From photo ops with the USVI's political class, business owners, community leaders, and every VIP within camera range, Mac somehow managed to build a portfolio that would make you think he is running half the territory. The man collected signatures, endorsements, handshakes, and selfies like marbles. At this point, I'm genuinely curious what Mac could accomplish in Congress, because his greatest talent appears to be convincing people that proximity is accomplishment. Mac understands something many people don't. If you stand next to enough important people, eventually folks stop asking what you've actually done. It's fascinating to watch. Give people a suit, a few photos with the elite, a confident smile, and a stack of names they recognize, and suddenly nobody's asking for a resume. The real lesson isn't about Mac. The real lesson is how easily we can be dazzled by access, titles, and association. Sometimes we mistake white proximity and or being near power for having power, and being photographed with influence for actually creating influence. Not just influence and power, but also the image that they have money. Because this man is not only dealing with fraud cases, dealing with money, he also has a more than one bankruptcy proceeding going on right now. But I continue. I love to look like Duppy. VI people love to be in things. Listen. Well said. Well said. Whether you like her, hate her, love her, whatever, please show me where she's wrong in this, because I couldn't find anything. But yeah, I think that was very well said, and I appreciated that. What I said above is also a rumor, not confirmed. Hey, we gonna get into it right now because I know exactly what you're talking about. We have to get into that there, because we cannot follow up. We cannot just skip over, the other political drama that's going on. We don't take a side. We don't formally endorse any candidates. But we cannot talk about Big Mac without talking about his not so secret admirer, the person that he secretly or not so secretly admires, Janelle Sorrow, because she had some drama also. He just says Janelle's public admirer, his obsessed egghead self. Listen, this man has made so many posts about her anonymously, publicly. It's crazy. Really? It's bananas. I don't want nobody that obsessed with me ever. Ooh. But a Broward County judge on Thursday heard hours of sharply conflicting testimony in the final hearing of a domestic violence injunction case filed against former Virgin Islands Senator and current delegate to Congress candidate Janelle K. Sorrow, with the matter set to continue Friday afternoon and a ruling possible before the end of day. This is an old article. There has been a ruling, and we're going to play that also. The case, Zakira Veretta Bouchard versus Janelle Sorrow, has already been put through the Circuit Court of 17th Judicial Circuit in and for Broward County, Florida. Bouchard was seeking a final injunction for protection against domestic violence, better known as a restraining order. Sorrow denied that Bouchard is entitled to that relief and testified Thursday that Bouchard, not Sorrow, was the aggressor in the relationship. So there has been a judgment put through on that case, and here is the judgment from the judge himself. You can be the judge of whatever. Like, this is the court. Now, this was not a innocent or guilty type thing. This was whether there needs to be a restraining order placed or not. I need to make that clear.
I'll give you a few conclusions and then my knowing in the case. So there's no doubt I think everyone, the attorneys and the parties would agree that this, after a short while began a dysfunctional relationship. One that was characterized by intermittent acts of violence. I do agree there was violence by both parties. No doubt about that. Having been said, as Nicole points out, that the court can enter an injunction in favor of someone, even if that someone has committed acts of violence in the past. So the legal issue, though, here, really, there are two, to begin, being addressed as, so to be clear, the court may enter an injunction for protection against domestic violence if the petitioner proves by preponderance of the evidence, and with two things. One, that there's been a recent act of domestic violence, and two, as a result of perhaps that and the other history, that there's a reasonable basis to fear imminent violence. So first, with regard to whether there was recent violence, the petition, which is the date-to-date that we use to determine whether a violence has been recent, not today's date, right? Because there's been a temporary injunction in place now for shooting. So as of her Ray said, I look back at the testimony, and the last act of violence that was, I'll call it severe. I don't want to use the word significant because all violence is significant. The one that's the last is severe was quite some time ago. A little over, I think, or give or take the years before that. There may have been some physical violence in December. I think at best it would have been mid-December, but I'm not really clear about that. That wasn't proved to the degree that these other prior acts of violence were proven. I think under the circumstances, given the fact that the respondents moved out, given the fact that the most recent events were minor in relation to the prior, I don't find this to be recent. Means it's not a fixed, have an amorphous term. It's not fixed in the number of weeks or months. There are cases where 3 or 4 months might be considered recent, and there are cases where, like this, a month and a half, give or take, isn't. And in my view, this wasn't recent when I look at all the circumstances and determine that. Next issue is whether Neci or someone in a position would have a reasonable fear of imminent violence. Now, again, the violence in this case and in the relationship was mutual, and it was really consistent. I don't mean by that every day, but it was happening on and off on a regular basis throughout the course of the relationship. But it was in, I think it was October that Neci moved out, and there's been no violence since then. There has been contact, but no violence, no threats of violence. The only one that I guess we could consider concerning was that one message with the screenshots from the video, which was inappropriate and odd, I think, under all the circumstances. And it certainly wasn't a threat to do violence. So there's been no recent violence, in my view, no threat to do violence. Neci has moved out. He's living primarily in the Virgin Islands, although I never see Trump here. But under all those circumstances, I don't think Neci has a good basis to believe that violence is imminent. If they keep having contact with each other and get back in a relationship, well, I see that, but I don't think under circumstances as they exist now that it's reasonable to believe that violence is going to happen, and it's going to happen right away, which is what's required. So for the reasons I've expressed, I only denied your permission. I'm going to address just a couple other things. While there was an outstanding petition for order to show harm, I wasn't satisfied to the degree that's necessary to prove a violation of an injunction, and so as our reason I denied the petition. Then lastly, Mr. I just want to address you directly. I didn't know you have exciting things going on in your life. I want to make it clear, if it wasn't clear, I'm sure it's clear, but I'm going to say it anyway. This relationship, as much of a roller coaster that it's been, and it's been on and off, and it's off. I guess I should say it to both of you. It's off. You need to leave each other alone. Have no contact with each other. Move on with your life. Just enjoy your lives. But it's going to be without each other in it. And this is not a relationship that anyone should be in. And certainly, should you have contact with her, if you have contact with her, again, it's going to be difficult to defend that, given all this. Okay? Feel free to initiate me, bro. Counsel, again, thank you very much for appreciation and professionalism. Good play. I'll give you a few conclusions and then my knowing in the case. So there's no doubt. I think everyone will be turned.
All right, so that's the ruling from the judge. You heard it there. He agrees that there was violence on both sides, but there's no reason for a restraining order to be placed. She moved out since October. There's no imminent threat, he didn't believe. And Williams said, Lord, people like drama, too many mudslinging campaigns. Well, all this is going on. We need to make sure people go out. And I guess they like the deplorable state of the territory. WAPA hospital, schools, and the amount of crimes that are happening. Something definitely got changed, and it will start from the ground up. We need the people to take action because that's where it needs to start. It needs to be a grassroots movement. But I think a lot of people are afraid of retaliation. I think a lot of people are afraid of what they'll have to sacrifice. People have mouths to feed and, jobs they want to maintain and stuff like that. So I get it. And Miss Thoreau and her lawyer, they were ecstatic after that ruling, obviously, because there was no injunction placed. And here's them after the judge's ruling.
Former Senator General Thoreau and current congressional candidate and her attorney, Ms. McDonnell, and we just had the result from the judge, denied the petition. How do you feel about the outcome?
Well, I feel great, obviously, because she was absolved from any wrongdoing. This petition, I think, was filed against her, to be honest, as a smear campaign. The petition was filed the same day she was filing to run for Congress. So these are the stuff that I have to point out to the judge and just declare her name. I met her recently. She's a good person. She's a good woman, and I'm sure she'll do very well. And I'm sure that the citizens who are behind her will continue to be behind her. But now she's free, she's clear, and she has shown today she has committed no wrongdoing, and the judge found in her favor.
Sir, anything you want to say?
I just tried to move on with the campaign and prove that I could solve the people of the Virgin Islands. But the lesson was learned that just have to be a little more mindful of.
The judge did admonish you today.
Yeah, he did about my choices in love. So moving forward, it's just critical that if I see a red flag, just leave.
No, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Judge?
All right. There you have it. You see that? The smile, that large smile. She got paid. She got what?
Come on, it's a travel for.
Honest and WTJX was on the scene. They were there in the courtroom.
We getting serious with it. I love it.
They took that flight. All right. Any comments before we move on?
My only comment I had about it is the judgment has been passed. She has been absolved, like her attorney said, of her charges. I don't agree that there was no wrongdoing. The judge clearly said they were wrong on both parts.
Yes.
But he doesn't see anything that warrants what the defendant is asking for. I mean, yeah, so I just wanted to just point that, like,
thank you. I'm
glad that, she can proceed. This is not hanging over her head, and to move on. And I also want to say, we need to, while I don't support or anything, DV is a very serious situation. I don't support it in any way. These are human beings running for these senatorial and congressional and election office and these seats. People have real backgrounds where things happen to them. Nobody is exempt from having negative drama or trauma in their past. Right. And we need to be able to hear some things are going to come up when you run for public office. People are going to feel like they're entitled to release your dirty business and your dirty laundering when you want to seek these offices. And sometimes you need to know what kind of dirty laundry you have, if how much of it you're willing to have out in the public, or if what you did in the past, that you've grown and learned from it. So it being in the public you're okay with it. It's a learning experience. You can talk to it and be specific. So these people are human beings. They have past. They have things that they happen in their lives that they have done to people, and there's things that people have done to them. Because these things go both. This is both street. This ain't no one. We have no one-way road here. We don't do things to people, and people don't do things to us. And whether we intended to or not, or sometimes we did intend it don't matter. So when these are the things that happens in these campaigns, and we have to be knowing what we're willing to tolerate and not tolerate as a person who's going to represent us when we're voting. And that's your tolerance level, and somebody's have a different tolerance level. That's all I have to say.
I think what we could learn from this is, listen, if you're in a situation, in a relationship, and it's unhealthy, go ahead and leave. It's okay to leave for your mental health and to not end up in anything. And I wish them both the best. And I hope that this became a learning experience for them both and they grow from it. That's all.
Yep.
All right. And I think with that, we're gonna let Mr. Brian Loudon report on the next situation, because the next situation is concerning something that affects the economy of the Virgin Islands, because as we all should know, the Virgin Islands is largely dependent on tourism, and tourism is largely affected by not just hotels but also airports and flights. So Mr. Brian Loudon himself, we're going to allow him to speak on this airline report. Let's go.
8 airlines serving the U.S. Virgin Islands have told the governor they will not help fund his plan to rebuild the territory's 2 airports. The plan? Depending on the airlines to finance the rebuild. Without them, it cannot move forward. Good day from the Virgin Islands. I'm Brian Loudon, and this is a VI update. On June 3rd, the U.S. Virgin Islands Airlines Airport Affairs Committee sent a letter to Governor Albert Bryan Jr. and Virgin Islands Port Authority Interim Executive Director Ava Pinn. The message was direct. The carriers will not sign a lease, an operating agreement, or a rates and charges agreement under the Port Authority's current plan to rebuild the USVI's 2 airports. The letter carried the signatures of American Airlines, Delta, United, JetBlue, Cape Air, Sun Country, Southwest, and the Trade Association Airlines for America. To understand why that matters, you have to understand how the deal is built. In April 2024, the Port Authority selected a consortium called VI Ports Partners. That's a group that includes Acon, Tikehau Star Infra, AV Ports, and J. Benton Construction, amongst others, to redevelop Shirley King Airport on St. Thomas and Henry E. Rolson Airport on St. Croix. The group later formed a special purpose company known as Sky City. Under the structure, the Port Authority has outlined the airports stay public, but the private partner finances and rebuilds the terminals, then recovers that investment by collecting airport fees and rents. The people who ultimately pay for the rebuild are the airlines, and through them, the passengers. Without the carriers signing rate agreements, the financing does not close. And this is the leverage the airlines just exercised. The carriers say they were shut out. According to the letter, at no point during the request for proposals process were they consulted on the program's scope, its cost, or whether it could be built. They described a full-scope partnership they estimated at more than $1 billion, carrying a rate structure they call unaffordable. They warn it would make Virgin Islands airports more expensive than the regional airports they compete with for service. The committee says it offered an alternative, a phased $300 million capital core program proposed on May 13th, and that the Port Authority dismissed it. The airlines are now reserving all rights to pursue procedural alternatives, and say they will meet during the week of June 8th only if the Port Authority agrees to consider that smaller plan. Governor Bryan rejects the airline's position. He told the St. Thomas source that former Port Authority Director Carlton Dow had been talking with the carriers about these concerns for years, that the airlines were offered a chance to move forward and that it never materialized. The government is moving forward with our plan, Bryan said, and will work with the airlines to get it done. He called new airports non-negotiable, pointing to the hot, crowded departure lounge that travelers on St. Thomas already know, and to the same need on St. Croix. 2 weeks ago, Interim Director Pinn told the Port Authority Board that the airport negotiations would be finalized by the end of this year. The Port Authority spokesperson and its governing board chairman, Willard John, did not respond to the source's request for comments. The stakes are not abstract. Spirit Airlines and Frontier Airlines both ended service to the territory this year, cutting available seats. The airline letter landed 2 days after Lieutenant Governor Tregenda Roach announced new United service connecting Newark and St. Croix, and on the same day, Governor Bryan opened Caribbean Week in New York, selling the Virgin Islands as a destination. The airports are the front door. The people who own that door and the people who walk customers through it cannot agree on who pays to rebuild it. Governor Bryan says the territory has waited long enough and the airports must be rebuilt on a scale that matches the need. The airlines say the plan that rebuilds them is one they cannot afford and will not sign, and that a smaller program would do the job. Tell me what you think in the comments. Who do you think is right? And if you're flying in from the wider Caribbean or the continent, what do you need to keep choosing these islands? You're not coming to visit the airport, but it shouldn't be a negative experience bookending your trip. I'm Brian Loudon. This is your VI Update. Your islands, your news, our reporting.
And we need airlines, and St. Croix for sure need an airport. St. Thomas might could use an upgrade. What do you think about that, Neci?
I mean, first, where was Brian? Like, I haven't heard from him in a minute. He been on vacation. Where he been?
Last I seen him and his second in command were feeding the homeless. I'm sure that was for the documentary, but whatever. They were feeding the homeless, Neci. Last I seen. After the trip with the half lady, they were feeding the homeless when he returned.
Okay. So I do agree that the overhaul of the airports is much needed, much overdue. There was already a plan in place to do an overhaul a couple of years ago, because I remember them dropping the plan for St. Croix, and they had a meeting and everything for people to come and put input into the plan and so forth. And I'm guessing that's the plan that they're saying didn't materialize into anything actionable. I don't know how much power we have to proceed forward without the airlines being on board. So I'm curious how that's going to play out, because we can't force their hand to do it and then absorb the cost of it. So we'll see how this is going to go. I do agree the recent travel boost with the reduction of the TSA workers and seeing those long lines, especially in St. Thomas, is definitely an eye-opener, and the heat that comes with that, because we do know the front of our airports are open. They're not enclosed in terms of where you come into checking and so forth. But St. Thomas Airport is fairly much more advanced than St. Croix Airport in terms of how its interior is set up. So I'm curious what the plan is. I guess their issue is that they weren't looped in what the actual plan is going to be, and we're proceeding without their input. So hopefully there's a table discussion that's coming, hopefully numerous table discussions. Hopefully there is a come to Jesus opportunity that everyone gets on board for, and we can actually get the airports up to par, or at least push our airports forward to get them into a more sustainable 2026 functionality that makes sense. Because the last couple of times I traveled, the St. Croix Airport belt sitting and walking. So you have to drag your suitcase them inside because the belt outside not walking. So yeah, let's see how that's gonna play out. Let's see how they're gonna figure it out. Hopefully
You're on
sooner
fire
than
today.
later.
You're on fire today. You're killing it today, man. You're dropping bombs. Good for you.
My career coming out on me card.
In my opinion, since Alma's on the way out, I think all major negotiations should be deferred to the incoming governor. When will we know who's going to be the incoming governor, though? What is that?
We will know in November. And that's a good point, because by the time this turn around and actually come into place, he's going to be out for real.
Yeah,
unless he can fast track it and get the plans on the ground signed and the work starts before he's out, which the way he moving, he on vacation. You know, people who don't go on vacation at work before the vacation start.
Yeah.
That's how he's moving. So I don't know. We're gonna see.
Actually, St. Croix Airport is that a greater than St. Thomas, or is that less than? We're in greater need, I know that, and that's not throwing shade.
I think he should have put greater need than St. Thomas, which I do agree with. Greater need.
Only thing St. Thomas has is a parking garage. Listen, all right. Have we forgotten TSA line reached Lindenberg Bay? Didn't something happen that caused that?
That was because there was a shortage of TSA workers because of the federal budget not being approved to pay the workers, and they were not reporting to work. So yes, it did reach that far. Yes, there was an issue. I agree, but it was not necessarily an airport issue. It was a TSA worker issue where there were not enough individual staff to process through all those the numerous amount of guests that was traveling through St. Thomas, which we know is a far higher number than St. Croix, because even though we had a shortage, there wasn't that type of delay in St. Croix to get through the TSA to get to your gates.
I'm saying St. Croix Airport is currently better than St. Thomas Airport. Oof.
How? I haven't been to St. Thomas in a while, but how?
I've seen what it looks like though. The terminal and everything looks. When was the last time? Anyway, all right. I know they had an update inside the airport itself, but man, look. St. Croix definitely needs an upgrade, renovations and stuff to the airport, especially that baggage carousel and the front. It needs to be redone for sure. I know they did the inside with the terminal and snack bar and stuff like that there. That's looking way better. I ain't gonna say nothing but the customer service, but the inside definitely looked better once you get through. In the gate, yeah. Once you get through TSA and all of that stuff, it looks better inside. They updated.
Oh, people are very. What you mean the service? Some people are very nice. I haven't had nobody. What experience you to be having?
Listen, I pull up to that.
The food in the St. Croix airport.
I pull up to the I ain't gonna talk about it today. We on to something. Our terminals look better now. Yeah, now, but better. I travel often enough to know St. Thomas is markedly better. Yeah, because we're talking about the whole thing, Not once you get past everything from the 1996. We talking about as a whole. But yeah, I think it's a good time for us to do a shameless plug. All right. It's election time, as we said. And we welcome any and all political contenders and aspirants that want to come on the show. We provide the platform for you. Will we be nice? No. Will we be fair? Yes. We're going to be absolutely fair. But I won't say that this is necessarily a safe space. It's a space where we will talk about stuff and we expect you to answer them. We'll get questions from people that your constituents want to know, and we will ask them. We'll be fair with you. We won't attack you. It won't be contentious. Ain't gonna be no debate. It's going to be an interview. That is what we can guarantee. All right. So if you know a political aspirant that wants to use a platform or get on a platform to let people know what they're about, let them know that a different day and seeing difference is available. Hit us up. All right. I forget to St. Thomas Run, we get potholes like regular roads.
Yeah, they need to be done a lot to fix repair potholes for sure.
St. Croix is improved. We can now eat something other than the food
in St. Croix Airport is good.
If they recognize that you're in front of them waiting while they're talking, you could definitely get food eventually.
I'm sorry for whatever experience you might have had.
Hey, that's why I was trying to get off of it, but listen.
Breathe through it.
All right, man. So now it's time for y'all favorite segment.
It's 5:30.
Yeah, it's time for y'all favorite segment.
Yes, what is a skunt like for?
It is time for the MS or the skunt of the week, yo. And y'all even guess who would be your guest for the skunt of the week? Who would be your guest?
I'm overwhelmed. Just you can drop it. I could name 5 names and I could still be wrong.
Well, I ain't gonna keep guessing for too long. The skunt of the week is this guy. It's me.
I would have never guessed that. But okay. No, you deserve it. Agora.
Yeah. So
Agora.
this is to show you how much this type of stuff is not personal. I elected myself this cunt of the week, and let me tell you why. So this week there was a post, I shared it, right? It was someone else's post. What? Stop playing on me, man. What? No, you have a... So here it is. Merrill, shout out Merrill Henry. He, during the outages, he posted it's best we move St. Croix. I'm sure he was joking. And I, same difference, shared it. No, I a good St. Croix full, right? There was a whole heap of comments and we were joking, you know. I had to be joking even when there's something on St. Croix going on, St. Thomas, whatever. Tell you the truth, sometimes I had to play too much. And this was one of them times. So, don't mind none of the other comments. One of the comments that I personally made, they were picked out and they were disseminated and they focus on the one comment, which happens, right? I ain't even mad at it. So it's this one. Karma, my son. Yes, I said that. My thing is content and context matters. So when I say stuff like that, when I said that, what I meant was, but I didn't explain it, so that's my fault, right? I put karma, my son. When I said that, I was talking about karma for those people who don't side with us when we're going through it. Us being St. Croix. St. Croix goes through power outages all the time. Matter of fact, if you remember, right before Carnival, St. Thomas, St. Thomas Carnival, right? St. Thomas, St. John were having off and on power outages. And right when Carnival about to start, it switched to St. Croix. St. Thomians, as they should, they were lit. They were partying and walking up. Hey! They was in the street, they were lit for Jubilee, right? They forget that St. Croix now is getting the outages. Let me know if I'm wrong. Did you remember seeing people that were in Rock worrying about that? No. So now when the outages come, when Carnival done, outages switch back to St. Thomas for days, like we reported on. Now it's an all hands on deck thing. But why we don't ever join up regardless? We're supposed to be sister island siblings. Yes, we have a little sibling rivalry, which again, I'd be joking, and I think we should if we're family. You have family members that can't cook. That don't mean that I hate you. You just can't bring the mac and cheese. That's a sibling rivalry in my mind. But when you're joking, when we're going through it, and they came up with that St. Croix name, it was when people were complaining about actual injustice. And I think it comes from a state of privilege. Because I also made this post to highlight the injustice. And the injustice is not between St. Croix and St. Thomas people. It's, if you look, USVI government, they're holding up what represents St. Thomas as their favorite child, while St. Croix over here is drowning. St. John is way outside of the conversation. I think this was true. But I make a post like this, and these are the kind of responses you get. Cry Croix. We're saying cry. Well, we're talking about something that actually exists. So Ernest said something similar about monies not being dispersed and to equitably. Senator VLA, a current sitting senator, said it. And even former Governor Mapp said something about stuff goes to St. Thomas first, the new stuff, they use it, and they send back the old stuff to St. Croix instead of buying us new stuff also. Was it divisive, or was it them crying when they said it? But when I said it, it was an issue. Now again, I want to take accountability because I really realized this week that as an influencer, as a person with a platform, as people with a platform, we do have actual influence. And I learned that this week when the backlash came. And the backlash was intense. They've been talking about your boy for 6 days straight. People were making lives. People were going back and forth. It became a St. Thomas versus St. Croix thing, which I never wanted to happen. but I take responsibility for that. That was on me. I am sorry. I should not have done that. And I need to realize the power in the tongue. And I misused it. And it's my responsibility to take accountability for it. The backlash came in intense. The last time I had 2 women fighting over me, I at least knew them. I ain't never seen a live and thing like that happen, and I've never met the women in my life. So I need to understand and take responsibility for what I say. And I promise you from here on out, I will pay attention to what I say and what I do. Will that stop any backlash? I can't say so because VI people petty. But here's my pledge to you to do better. All right? Now, you see how things can get taken out of context? Janelle also, from her obvious obsessment, got posted about this week also out of context. Because if you notice, people will take just the comment. They'll take just the comment because obviously there's a bigger conversation going on here. But they screenshot your comment and then they talk about you and they go into and they create this narrative about what you're actually saying, and people just take it as the word. So I need to be more careful. You should be more careful also if you're listening, if you're trying to build a platform. Keep that in mind that what you say, you need to be very intentional and watch what you say and how you say it. Whew! All right. Our good is crazy. With friends like these.
First of all, you're the MS of the week, so we have equal opportunity to get bashed. Okay?
Right.
If it was somebody else, they would have get the same thing. I can't. We still friends, and if you want to be my friend afterward, that's your business. I'm gonna drop Mela for them to talk about you 6 more days in a row. Link me if you need something. But I'm just saying that use the MS. So MS got to take blows. You went and you dropped your little comment with no explanation. Right. And I see it and I said, wait, that in a Facebook Mela? That get beef and ain't call me? What's going on here? I have to go rabbit hole. And that was vexed with me because he's like, oh, you rather go rabbit hole on Facebook than come to your friend and find out the truth? That's how we find out the other people Mela is go on Facebook and read the comments. So I wanted to give you a fair opportunity of being in the spotlight and go listen to all the rumors about you and what you say and what you ain't saying, how you say it and what you mean. And I was like, yes, that could be a bit much at times, most times, but I could deal with it. The public can't deal with it all the time. And St. Thomas was taking blows with the lack of power for a few days, so I could understand the sensitivity
the timing
of the message because people were losing food products, people couldn't go to work was delayed, even VIP were closed half the day because it was that serious. So if you know you're delaying your police efforts to report to work, it's really bad. So the timing was bad. So I could see how that happened.
For sure. Yeah, all of that. The timing was dumb. The way that I said it, it was dumb. So that was a real skunt move. I'll give my it's true. You flame the Tomians in our time of need, full skuntishness. Now, mind you, that whole post, it was jokey. It's that comment, that one comment where like I'm saying that the whole island and St. John deserve it. I need to stop making it seem like people know what I mean or that they know me. If you know my heart, you would never believe that I think that every single person on St. Thomas and St. John deserve to be in power, be without power. I would never believe that because I do have empathy and I empathize with people. And me as a person that plug in a machine to go sleep, I would never want to be 3 days without power. Oh, you having a time. You having a time today, guys. Enjoy it.
Because use the M. You see, if I don't slander you as the M, then you're going to say I'm being unfair because you're my friend.
Hey, there you go. Leah Richardson, Mother Scott. Hey, I should have taken hey, you've been in the soup with me today. I should have taken a screenshot of your bullshit too.
That man said his impact need he can't go treat it because that machine here. Man can't sleep for 3 days without his machine plugging. So I will say this though, on a serious note, if Ja apologized, which is not something he typically does.
Correct.
Publicly too. So
right.
I will say that you definitely took it in good grace because you didn't really backlash and back and forth about the whole thing and continue to drag it down. You realized that it was you made the comment, you owned the comment. People were really it was like what day 5 or so of the no power thing. I think people weren't, jokes could come at any time, but people really were on the edge. And I get it. Yeah. So I appreciate as his friend that he actually apologized. Because he could have taken and just keep it moving, even though I'm going to talk about it anyways, because we wasn't going to let it slide, because we don't let nothing slide. But I appreciate that he publicly apologizing. He don't care if you accept it, but he definitely apologized. And that's not something he does, and he doesn't take that very lightly to have to say it either. Because we don't just apologize in vain.
For sure. And I think that's number 4 for the year or 5 by now.
Ooh, boy, you're working hard this year. We don't got to talk on the side. Like, you're doing you're derailing. It's been a rough year.
I need to take longer breaks. That's what I need to do. Social media breaks need to be longer.
If you blink too hard.
Hey, but for real though, Leon Ross, that man there right there, right? We was the 2 most hated dudes for say Croy and this week, they was blazing our ass this week. Being like, the reason why I didn't tell you is because I was legit just ignoring it. Because if I go and read these comments, then I go, because that's another reason why I slipped. I was a scunt also because I know better than to get into the fray, right? Because the back and forth gonna really just give other people more clout, more attention and stuff like that. And I get caught up. And a friend of mine saw it, pulled me up on it, which I respect. Hey man, you don't need to be doing all that there. And I deleted it because I would have, listen, I'll troll somebody quick. I will troll you quick and share your post talking about me. Let me give you some clout. Let me help you out. But he pulled me back from the brink. He pulled me back from the void, and I appreciate that.
Me too. I appreciate whoever it was.
Yes.
Me too.
So yeah, shout out to Big Sosa. He was on the show. He come in my inbox and he was like, "Man, you ain't gotta do all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, glad that you're taking accountability. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Yeah, you see the crown and all in the logo.
Ooh.
If you never get roasted or slandered, are you really an influencer? And it really is how you take it too. That's another thing. How you take it and process it, because I ain't gonna call no names, but our partner really took himself out of the running in the election because he came on us on fire and he didn't take it well.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I accept your apology on only my behalf. You have a long road to forgiveness on this one, Darth Vader. Listen, I really did. Wow. I appreciate the vulnerability. I also use the CPAP. See, there's people out there that struggle also, and they don't got nothing to do with size, because even the technician who have to do my test every so often, he's skinny, he an MMA fighter, and he uses a CPAP, and he's real thin. So it ain't got nothing to do with size or nothing. But I think more and more people are using it. Unfortunately, I don't know what that means. But yeah, I would hate to be on island and the outage lasts for days. One time I was home and it went out for 4 or 5 hours. You know how it is to wake up because your thing does shut off. But I digress. Yes, I am insecure about admitting it. Hey, pick up yourself, Darren. Well, hey, to hell with it, man. You're not alone. Trust me. There's a lot of people being given CPAPs and worse BiPAPs. So you're not alone, and we need to stop being ashamed because it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there you have it.
I was not going to guess you, and I think that's hilarious.
But yeah, there you go.
Guess what is a skunt like for?
So I was the MS of the week. Moving forward.
Well deserved.
Man, call me Darth Vader.
I was trying to put a GIF, but they don't want to let me drop the GIF in the comment. I think that's really crazy.
But you see, so if you end up as the MS of the week, if I could put myself, nobody is exempted. Don't get vexed. All right.
My shame back smile. So when it's my turn, my camera gonna be off. I could say what you want, but turning off my camera. Tell you right now. My shame back.
You see that? You see that? No, if you want to do the crime, you gotta do the time.
I didn't say coming off the live. I said my camera gonna be off when you drop it and it's me. I go listen.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Hey, where we at? We got stateside news. On stateside trending topic news. Cassie Ventura flees the U.S. with no intention to return after a $20 million payday from Diddy legal drama. Cassie Ventura has left the U.S. and has no intentions of returning to the country, according to new court documents. The long way to go, Hitmaker filed an official declaration dated May 1st as part of her ongoing lawsuit against male SMEX worker Clayton Howard, where she states, "I reside outside of the United States. I do not intend to move back to the United States," reports CMZ. Reps for the singer did not immediately respond to Page Six's request for comment. Listen, honestly, I think that was the best thing for she to do. I don't see. All right, go.
I don't even know what you're reading. She took the money. She got good. Next news, because
yeah, nothing wrong with it. Wait, what? What is it? John making controversial statements. Like, yeah, what a surprise, right? How surprising is that? Neci is like, what? They want to say you chicken, man.
Me chicken.
He deserved the trolling. Yeah, hey, I expect it, That's the difference. I expect it. I know it's going to come. This ain't going to be the last time. I may be the MS of the week again. Who knows? I expect it. But also in trending news, right? I want to know y'all thoughts on this, yeah.
Okay.
So, Chicago. In a video that's since gone viral on TikTok, Chicago Tech Academy student Tyvion Campbell is seen walking onto the stage at the Harold Washington Cultural Center during her graduation ceremony before she drops into a split. The video, which shows the moment from different angles, has racked up more than 835,000 views on TikTok. Just one day after posting that video, Campbell returned to TikTok to claim she'd faced discrimination by the school when they did not hand over her diploma on that stage. In the follow-up video, which now has more than 2.3 million views, she claimed that she was scolded by school administrators for doing a split on stage. Now, a quick backstory, quote, "I've been telling these people for weeks that I was going to do a split on stage," she claimed. "It was not a surprise. They just thought I was joking, and that's the problem." You sure? Now, don't think I'm joking, because I'm not. When she walked over to the person handing the graduates their diploma, she said it was not handed to her. "I honestly thought that they mixed up my name and didn't have my name in the right order. I didn't even think that she was purposely not trying to give me my diploma at first," she continued. After being directed to sit down without her diploma, she was then escorted out of the auditorium to meet with the dean and the principal, Zataya Shackelford. Quote, "She was beyond angry, like livid. It was genuine tears in her eyes and her mouth was shaking. She was really, 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 really upset," Campbell claimed of Shackelford. And she's like, "You need to figure out a way how you're going to make up for this. You're not getting your diploma until you figure out a way how you're going to make up for what you just did." And I'm like, wait, I have to figure that out, or do you have to figure that out? Yo, this girl got an attitude, man. She got attitude on her, boy. Campbell said the experiences was, quote, "confusing," and she ultimately left the ceremony before it was over, unable to complete the tassel turning portion of the ceremony as she was, quote, "really upset." "We did receive rules, but the rules had nothing to do with what you can and cannot do while you walk across the stage," Campbell told Fox 32. In a memo obtained by Fox 32 conveying rules to parents of graduates before the ceremony, Chicago Tech Academy warned parents not to bring helium balloons and instructed them on specific locations where they could park. Still, there were no memos about onstage behavior. In a video posted to TikTok on June 3rd, Campbell confirmed she had received her diploma from the school. The recent graduate is planning to attend Georgia State University in the fall, where she will study business administration. People reached out to Chicago Tech Academy for comment. Quote, "I hope everyone stays true to themselves and never change for anybody," she told the news outlet. Now, she was a dance and cheer person, right? While she was in school. Here is the split in question. Y'all let me know, because I think I have seen people do splits like cheerleading during the graduation. Y'all let me know if this is appropriate or not. Yeah, multiple angles. I think that was the problem. I think that part was the problem. I think it was the bouncing on it that was the issue. I could be wrong. Keep in mind, this is a high school graduation. What do you think, Neci? What do you think?
I glad my trainer not graduate on wax stages because they could have never embarrassed me with that shit.
Hey, why? How do you even feel that that is cool?
Appropriate. There is a few things wrong here.
Okay.
I love a good cheer for graduation. I like to see, the spirit dance and I like to see the whole thing. I like to see the fraternity step. I like to, you worked hard, you've earned it, you deserve to celebrate and enjoy. That's fine. Hard problem is you think that because you tell people what you're going to do means that you could just do it because they tell you couldn't do it. You'll tell the police you're going to commit a crime. You think they're going to tell you? No, they're going to watch you and arrest you. She seems to have, like you said, an attitude that I think is bigger than what we see portrayed. And that is not a split. Mama, you were bouncing on something on that stage and it was nothing to do with a chair split. You didn't even shake your hand like a pom-pom, like you have chairs in your hand or something like that. What are you bouncing for? And then surprised that they didn't want to give you the... Man, listen. The things that these kids have convinced themselves should be allowed and acceptable wherever they are, whenever they are, however they feel like, needs to stop and need to be reined in. And we also need to give you a 20-point list of the things you cannot do to cross the stage in order for you not to do it, because you're going to find the 21st thing to try to do because it wasn't on the original list. That's not okay. And you got to know time and place is a thing. You got to know what kind of school you at. Some of these schools might be okay with it. The school you at might not be okay with it. The fact that you told them, you probably knew that they wasn't going to be okay, which is why you were trying to forewarn them that you're going to do it. What you want to tell you no? And then you probably still would have do it anyway.
Yep.
And then to tell them, well, no, you decide the punishment. Like, says, you're going into a different part of your life and the reality of life going to spawn you in a way that you're not prepared for. And you're going to find out. Because that's not for me. Time and place is important. You could have done so many other things as a person who was in dance to cheer, and you should always wait until you get your diploma in hand before you do anything anyway. Like, you wouldn't even be doing it smart. When you come down off the stage, when you don't get in your hand, they can take it back from you.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was appropriate. Specifically, the split was not okay. The bouncing made it extra not okay. I think it was super tacky, especially for a graduation, because that means you're only about 17, 18 anyway. Why are you doing that? Of all the things that you could have done, that's what you choose to do? Cool. Then colleges don't accept them kind of thing, either you in, you out. You pass, you fail. They ain't and all the other extra rah. So, yeah, that's my 2 cents. And I don't care for that at all.
I know women don't like people, especially men, telling them what they can and can't do. But when are we going to be like, hey, twerking is not a appropriate celebration for every situation? When are we going to talk about that and admit that? Because why the school got to put in the rules, don't pop that pussy? Why they gotta do it? So you just get your high school diploma and immediately decided to show them that you about to hit the pool? That was at the point? Because for what? You telling me this what they're doing in cheer in high school? Come on, time
The
out.
way
Please.
how my mother would have dragged me off that stage, right?
That's
would
why I
have been
said
the
your
trending
family is there. Do you? That's man. Look, your family, other people's families. What's the point? And the school, when she told them, the school probably didn't believe it. That's why, not that, okay, it must be okay, you got to prove it to me. No. Man, next thing. So I'm off that. So you sent in something, I think we had mentioned very early on in the show, we had mentioned masculinity. So this is actually one of your videos which goes into masculinity, and then I have a video after that about what masculinity looks like in 2026. Now, we know some weeks ago, a Texas man, he tried to defend a woman and he was brutally unalived, trying to defend her. This was somebody that he didn't even know. What should we do as men when it comes time to defend our women? Is it always time to not give the butt? You know what I'm saying? Is it always time, or does it depend on what's going on, situational awareness? That's what they're going to talk about in this video, and I want to see what y'all think. We're going to put a poll up. Just the poll going to be up to your top right. Press 1 or 2 in the chat when you decide your answer.
I have been in a 6-year relationship, and I feel that he lacks masculinity. Recently, a guy touched me inappropriately. He was there, and I did tell him, and he did nothing. His nice guy act is causing him not to be a leader. How do I tell him that this is unattractive, and if he does not change, I will leave?
I think that it's very interesting to hear women constantly try to define what a man and masculinity is. I think there are different types of leadership, and I think we've been programmed to believe hyper masculinity or over masculinity is masculinity. Sometimes the best thing to do is analyze this situation and get us home safely, right? There are a lot of men right now locked up because of the pressure of a woman putting on him in an unreasonable situation. Hey, I want you to crash out behind me. Now, again, I'm not saying just let your girl get touched and different things like that, but I think we got to break down, like, what is his mindset? So when you asked him why he didn't do anything, what did he tell you?
Kind of like, I didn't want to cause a scene, but we still stayed. We never left. So I just didn't feel protected, basically. Like, and this wasn't the first time. Like, it kept, like, it just wasn't the first time. Just standing up for me and feeling protected, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, so then my next question would be, how did he get into that position anyway, to be your man, if you've never felt protected? This isn't a one-time thing. You said this is a repeated thing. This has happened a lot of times, and he's still your man. So if you don't feel protected, that's not the man for you to be with. You understand what I'm saying? That's not necessarily saying that, because again, there are different reasons why a man may react in that situation. I know dudes who, if a dude look at his girl the wrong way, he'll crash out and tear the whole room up. And a lot of times we've been programmed and raised to believe, hey, that's what masculinity looks like. And no, that's what stupidity looks like.
Right.
So again, you got to be able to analyze the situation. I got a homeboy who was walking this girl down the street, and there was 4 dudes standing on the corner. Somebody said something slick to his girl, like, damn, she got a fat ass. His girl got mad at him, right? That he didn't do nothing. So they arguing on the way to the car. He go to the car, go get a gun, and come back and shoot 2 of them. Now he in jail for the next 20 years, right? Because he's trying to listen to what she deems as masculinity. No, you got to analyze the leader. Part of being a leader is sometimes making an unpopular decision so we can get the hell home. So again, there are different types of leadership. If you want a man that's gonna, lead leadership with just pure brawn, no brain, then you're with the wrong guy. There's nothing wrong with that. But we can't say he lacks masculinity just because he didn't crash out in that situation. There's context there, and we got to figure out what the context and nuance is.
A lot of women don't fully comprehend how dangerous male physical conflict can be. And so while you're encouraging a man to do that, if he says something to that person, he has to be willing to die about that specific thing. It's not you attacking our children. It's not you breaking into our home. We're talking about a touch here. Now, I understand what you're saying, but in your head, when you are telling that man to do something about that, you have to be sure that you're willing to risk that man's life over that touch. If you're okay with that, explain that to niggas on the first date.
All right, Neci, this was your video. What do you have to say about it?
You know, I'm very curious to hear what the guys think about what was said, because a few things jumped out at me when I heard it the first time. I listened to it about 10. Honestly, I listened to that video like 10 times because it's one of those things where any person or any woman will want to feel protected by their partner in situations where they feel violated. And hearing his rebuttal to what she said makes a lot of sense. But what I didn't like that she did say initially was that he's pretending to be a good guy in the beginning. Meaning the person she's dating is a nice guy. And most nice guys aren't into just jumping in and getting into fights and those type of behaviors when something pops off. Now, the other thing that I noticed he said is there's context missing, and I do agree. Yes, you were touched inappropriately, and no one should be touched inappropriately or disrespected in any way that they don't want to be. And she did the right thing by telling her partner. Now, where were they is a different question. Were they in a place that if he confronted him, were there other people with the other person and then it could have endangered their lives further, like they said? Is it a place where that, did she continue to enjoy herself? Or is it a thing like maybe he should have recognized like, hey, we need to leave since this happened to you and you're no longer feeling sick. We need to remove ourselves from the situation. So context does matter in terms of like where you are when these things happen. And if I go confront that person, what are the odds or what are the options of this being resolved in a positive way versus a negative way? And so, like he said, usually if you go do something about it, you have to be willing to stand on it. And are you willing to stand on whatever the outcome of what happens when your partner goes stands on these type of situations? Now, she said it's happened multiple times. And like he said, how did he become your man if you don't like this? I feel like the good guy behavior she's getting treated with is what she values. But she wants the bad man in him to pop out when these other things happen, and that's not in his character. And you have to know the kind of person you want to date, the kind of person you want to be with, how you want to be protected and so forth, and not putting any blame on her in terms of where she is or where she isn't, because she did not state where they were. I ain't going to be in certain situations where I feel going to create or going to enhance my odds of being unsafe. And not even about being touched from a person. I just mean being unsafe, period. And so there is things that's missing. I'm curious to look for the rest of this clip because I want to know what else was said, if she said something else afterwards. I couldn't find it before we came on. But it was very interesting to see her view of it, but I hope she received the men's viewpoint of what she's asking of her partner, and if that's something you want in your partner or not, and if she's willing to move on from it because he's not being that person that she wants, or if she's willing to see about what the options are in terms of, is that something I can get behind and get over? Go report it to security. Go report it to police. Go make a report. Is that something that she would be satisfied with if her partner did that? Or she really wanted him to go pop off and clear out the room because you were violated? And I think that's a very real thing we have to, as women, we have to know when we're dating people, like who you want to be. Because now, like he said, his friend doing 20 years. Is that y'all waiting for him because a guy said her ass is fat? And now he's doing 20 years for that? Is she going to visit him every week to his jail? Or has she moved on? Because if he had to go confront those other two men hand to hand, those four men could have jumped him and then they could have assaulted her and violated her physically versus just the words that came out of their mouth. Then again, a bigger situation, have to standing and owning that. Does she feel guilty about that? And I'm not saying that she should feel guilty, but I'm saying is like, we have to be clear as women what we're asking for sometimes. We have to know the kind of persons that we're dating to know what behavior we're going to receive about these things as well. And again, she should not have been touched inappropriately. Men need to learn to keep their hands to the damn self and stop being assaulting women and being in the community because we're sick and tired of it and having to navigate all these rules of unnecessary things of what if somewhat could happen just to be able to be out in the street enjoying ourselves. And like you pointed out, there was a good guy who intervened in a situation last week or the week before, and he lost his life for intervening in something that had nothing to do with him. So where does that put men? Where does that put them in terms of when they see something, what they should do and what they shouldn't do? And I think it's a very, thin line about how far things can escalate, how quickly it can, and the outcomes that comes from these type of behaviors and situations.
Darren says, what Ace said, I had to explain to a woman this week. I think some women don't actually recognize danger. I think sometimes that's men and women. We don't think far enough ahead. There's a lot of people that responded on emotion and ended up in a box. You know what I'm saying? Either jail or the grave because of an emotional decision just that quick. And you may feel a way in the time being, but would it be worth it? And as a man, right, we need to assess those things because like men and women interact differently, a lot more aggressively, and you hurt a man's pride, it could go very left very quickly. And I think who it was, Ace or the other guy, when he was talking about like, yeah, you don't deserve to be touched at all. That's disrespectful. You have your right. That's your body. He should not have done it at all.
No, agree.
We don't know the situation, and we have to assess the complete situation, not just how you feel about it. It should never happen. I don't know why the guy didn't do it. But also, too often, women be looking for super Negro. And I get some hands in them, but I'm also not Michael J. White. You get what I'm saying? I'm not a classically trained fighter, and 4-on-1 is not a good ratio, and situational awareness. This time we need to walk it off. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got this one. You up. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes that should be cool because you want to make it home. Sometimes you just need to decide, would it be worth it? Would how I feel or the hurt that I feel or, you know, the violation be worth it to take this chance? Just like a couple months ago also, this girl lost 2 of her brothers because she was being abused by her boyfriend. She called her brothers. Call the police sometimes. It's okay to call the police. You know what I'm saying? And so it ain't just boyfriend ain't protecting, you know. It's also the other men in your life that you would call. Y'all know when you call crazy cousin Pookie or Ray Ray, you know what you calling them Fatima. You're not calling them to bake a cake. You know that dude go to jail every other summer. When you call him, you want him to do something. So now when he get back in that box, then what? Are you going to, like, we as men need to think about this.
Because he need to call no more either.
Exactly. Are you going to put money on his books? Are you going to go ahead and re-up on his minutes for his phone? These are life choices we talking about, man. Women fight women, you want these stats. Women fight women 99.99%, everybody goes home. Men fight, guns coming out a good bit of the time. High chance he can slip up in a body bag. Listen, this is a different day and age, you know. Everybody doing jiu-jitsu, everybody doing MMA. You see somebody with a cauliflower ear touch your girl, it could be a bad night for you. You get boxers on the street that you would never know. Everybody training these days, you know. MMA is a big thing. Then when you get your fold up in front of your girl, she done lost all respect for you and you lost your girl anyway. Every time I get in an argument, she talking about her partner box you. Or you ain't going on like that when he punch you in the face. These are decisions you got, like, everybody got cool, you know. Huh?
Do you remember the story with the girl who took the guy, who met a guy, took him home the first time he didn't want to leave her house? And then she called her brother over to come get him out the house. And when the brother come over, the guy knocked her brother out. And now she feels a way that she can't look at her brother the same way.
Wow. Nah, I don't remember.
So there's no accountability for her because she took somebody home on the first night.
Yeah,
she just met. And now he don't want to leave. Because you really don't know what kind of crazies you're running into.
To your house, not a hotel. Your house.
To your home. So and now your brother was assaulted, and now you looking at the man differently, or yourself. You're looking at your brother differently because
choices.
Your brother came to defend you and was assaulted himself, and now he's a bad guy, right?
He's less than, yeah. That's crazy.
But what did you think about? I mean, you said a lot of things, but what did you think of? I mean, and my other thing she said to you, it's happened a couple times. So I'm like, were you assaulted a couple other times? Like, and he was in your presence?
Came up.
Yeah, like hearing that from her, Ja, like as a guy, like what would you, or if that was, you have girls, like what would you say to her in terms of who she's dating? Because she made it seem like he pretends to be a good guy and he lacks leadership, but only when it's come to when she's being assaulted and he don't defend her, that's when it's not a good thing.
I've come to realize that the word protection to be a lot broader than we think when a woman uses it. And the bottom line overarching thing for me would be, if he's not right for you, leave. If you constantly in situations and he ain't the guy, then don't be with that guy. If he can't lead you and you want a leader, don't be with that guy. Plain and simple. Stop trying to make him into that guy that you want him to be. I'm not saying he's a bad dude, That's just not his character, and that's okay.
Yes.
Find you someone else that fits that. Now, too often, again, they be trying to build this super Negro in their head. So you want a poet, somebody gonna buy you flowers and do all these good guy stuff, but also be a maxed out martial artist that could kick 6 people butt. So unless, like, truth be told, you're gonna probably have to negotiate on some of those characteristics, right? So if
what's more important for you? Yeah.
If this one where he doesn't crash out to protect you is a deal breaker, break the deal. That's all. He just ain't that guy, and that's okay. Let him go with somebody who ain't always in trouble. You get what I'm saying? That's all. If you want a hood dude, go find a hood dude. So now we've been talking about masculinity and what it entails. And another video that I had pulled earlier this week. And Jason O. Wilson, he's another guy that I love the book that he had, right? He had a book called Battle Cry that I read, and it was how men and women need to, how we need to fight cleanly, because he is an actual fighter, a warrior for real. And it was about, facing your emotional trauma as men and what we need to deal with. I wish we had these type of mentors home, but maybe one day. So check out this video on what it means to be a masculine man in 2026.
What does masculinity look like in 2026?
The same way it always did. It's an adjective. Believe it or not, you're gonna be shocked maybe if I tell you this. Harriet Tubman exuded masculine attributes when she grabbed that gun and said, let's go. We got only so much time, and you play around and you sacrifice as you may gotta go. It's always been there. We as men have allowed this one adjective to confine us to a miserable life. And every man watching this and listening understand what I mean by that. You got the cars, the watches, the jewelry, the cigars, all of that, and you're miserable. Because that's all your life is, providing and protecting. But in you, you got something that you love, that you want to do. Maybe you want to start a garden like a farmer. Maybe you want to paint. Maybe you want to be a chef. Masculinity is one tool in the toolbox for us men.
All right, yeah. At this point, it's time that we start defining our own masculinity, because too often it's either toxic masculinity being defined, or it's a personal preference of what type of man you define to be masculine. But it's time that men define it for themselves and stop putting themselves in a box, because that provide and protecting is also another thing that's boxing us in. We can't enjoy and embrace every full aspect of who we are, truly. Jason is brilliant. Watching his clips raise my consciousness. Facts. What do you think about that clip?
I think my favorite part, of course, would be that it's one tool in your toolbox. And I, as a mom that has 2 sons, I tried to ensure that they have a well-balanced toolbox to understand that their personality, their masculinity, who they are, what they believe in, their faith, their their standings, all of those things are the components that makes them who they are. It's just not a one-shot component or a one-route component. And not doing the status quo doesn't make you less than or invaluable. And your value is placed heavily upon yourself. And you have to be able to define that for yourself and own it and stand on it. And I will say that far too long, the masculinity of the ego has plagued our men into a one-directional route that we see now as adults, how negative it affects them. And a lot of men are recognizing the ways that has hindered them. And some are, like, in those conversations, trying to gain insight, understanding, and find direction for themselves in order to enhance themselves or grow and evolve from the place that they've been stuck on to be a better version of themselves. You could physically have everything and still be lonely or alone, or still feel like you don't have enough, or still feel less than. The physical things doesn't define what you are or your masculinity. It is definitely something you have to build in yourself. And one thing I love that he does always is in his conversations, he brings it down to a level of understanding for everyone to be able to hear him and receive him. And I think his messages are so strong and so profound for that, because you don't have to really go dissecting what he says to understand in terms of like terminologies or metaphoric or anything like that. He really brings it home and to a baseline where you can get it and you can hear him and receive it. And hopefully his messages has and continues to reach men in a large scale to really stand in their own of who they are and what it is, and not allowing us as women to define them on their behalf. Because the one thing that we did is, that's feminism, right, that we did is to define us as women as who we are and what we believe in and what we stand on and what we can and what we can achieve. And we have been doing that. And in doing so, taking away what the men, taking away from the men doesn't, really create any good bearings to the land. And so I love his messages always. I think he always has really good insight into what's going on and what's happening. And one of the things that he also said in that interview was that the most important thing he ever did was cry in front of his wife, because he never realized that's one of the things he's never done. And one of the things that he regret was not crying the day that they got married, because his best friend tapped him on his shoulder and be like, you better not cry. And he held it and he didn't cry. And he's like, it's a day he can't get back, a day he can't do over. And he felt in the moment he didn't think anything of it, but looking back, he should have been able to be emotional about his wife crying, because there's other things that he's received, like awards that he has shed tears for, why he couldn't shed a tear for that. So I think that was a good insight he provided as well in that interview that I absolutely loved.
Yeah. Jason O. Wilson, look into him, check into his books and stuff. They're great. He talks a lot about masculinity, and he is a literal fighter. He's a actual warrior for real, and he's found and teaches about how to be both. You can be a lover and a warrior. You can take care of your woman. You can let go of all that extra aggression, and you know what I'm saying? And it's important.
Yes.
All right, we got one more thing. We done over already. We got one more thing I wanted to play. And in the comments, do I think that you could tell women the truth? I mean, you can physically do it, but there's a reason why men say we don't, because of how hard it is for y'all to receive it sometimes, unless it's a glowing review. And I have a video. I have this video clip that I think it explains it without directly approaching the thing, but it shows why men think women don't listen and that it's hard to tell them the truth. Check this out.
I'm at 31, still and why are we saying, oh, B-Han, I've been wanting to ask you this. Can you diagnose us? Oh, why are we single? From your perspective.
Jai can't hear the
single?
video.
I really want to drink yet. Don't hold back. If you have to.
You can't hear it at all?
I can see playing, but I can't hear it.
Dang.
From what you know. I ain't asked this question.
Oh well. That's probably my sign. I don't know why of all the videos that one they mess up. The majority of the time you can't be honest, they can't handle it. Hey Darren, tell me, were you able to hear that video at all or no? Like it'll come off like when you try and tell a woman about, give them feedback, even if they ask for it, is like you're talking about behaviors and you're addressing behaviors, but they take it as like you're saying, I don't love you, you're terrible, like a personal attack. Oh man. Yeah, he said he can't hear it. It's fine. It's cool. That's all good. I might try next week. But this has been a great episode. Neci, you want to give us your final words to take people through the next week?
Sure. For this week, I will say that I'm going to get specific to the men. It's mental health month. It's Men's Mental Health Month. And like I said earlier in the beginning, men, we love you, value you, and want you to be the best versions of you. Well, I do. And so take time this week specifically for yourself to do something that brings you absolute joy. You're overdue to enjoy yourself. And I want you guys to do that for yourselves this week.
All right. So that has been the final word. Please go ahead and let people know about A Different Day with Jai and Neci. I think we got a great show and we want more people to join the conversation. Hope you think it's a great show as well. In the future, you can follow us on Instagram at SameDifference2022 and or on TikTok at same_difference_pod. The YouTube is at VI_very_own. You can follow 101.3 ROE FM on Facebook. They're all under this 101.3 ROE FM. If you want to watch the live stream, it's Sundays between 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern time. You can click on ROE FM's logo on their page. When it's circled red, that means we're live. All right, and you can do the same thing at Same Difference or the YouTube or wherever and watch us. And that's it. I hope y'all have a good week. Go ahead and live out loud. Love you guys. Thank you for watching. We out. Peace.